Man, what a game. What a game. What a game. The Jaguars come out victorious against the Baltimore Ravens. Jaguars win this one 28-27. The Ravens came into this game 7-3, and now because of the Jaguars, they dropped to 7-4, while the Jaguars improved to 4-7 on the year. And really, you can't start talking about this game without talking about Trevor Lawrence, number 16. This guy completely balled out. I mean, what a performance by Trevor Lawrence. 29 of 37 passing, 78% completion percentage, 321 yards passing, 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And most notably, he did something that I've been wanting to see from a Jaguars quarterback for a very, very, very long time, and I just haven't seen it. And that is actually have a quarterback take the ball in a 2-minute drill, take it the distance down the field, and score a touchdown. You know, I've seen it. I've seen the elite quarterbacks do it, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers. I've seen plenty of quarterbacks do it against us. I mean, we saw what Carson Wentz do it this year, Matt Ryan. I mean, we've seen teams do it to us, but Jaguars just can't seem to do it. And CBS Sports tweeted out that the Jaguars are 0-162 since 2000 in games where they were down 7+ points in the final 2 minutes. I mean, this is literally something that the Jaguars do not do. And Trevor Lawrence went out there with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. The Jaguars got the ball back, down 7. They had 1 timeout remaining, and they took a 10-play, 80-yard drive for a touchdown. And there were even times where it wasn't the cleanest drive. Trevor Lawrence, I think, missed a pass or two. Trevor Lawrence fumbled in the pocket and got bailed out by, one of the offensive linemen. But, the Jaguars, I think it turned into like a 3rd and 17 or 3rd and 18. Got a completion down to Christian Kirk, brought it to 4th and 5. Marvin Jones made a clutch catch. Zay Jones made a tough, deeper pass later on. Marvin Jones, awesome touchdown catch. And then Zay Jones to cap it off with a 2-point conversion. It was masterful. It was masterful to see that drive against a good team, against a pretty good defense. I mean, Ravens are known to have a pretty good defense, and the Jaguars they won. They found a way to win. And really, credit to Jordan DeLuca. He did the research for I didn't have to. When you look at Trevor Lawrence these last 3 games, 83 for 108 yards, 108, 83 completions out of 108 pass attempts. I don't know why I said that weird. That's a 76.8% completion percentage, 815 yards passing, 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, 2-1 record. So that was the Raiders game, the Chiefs game, and this Ravens game. And I remember after the Raiders game, I said, good game by Trevor Lawrence. He's been pretty bad. We saw him have a good game. Do it again. The Chiefs game, he had another good game. We didn't lose that game because of Trevor Lawrence. We lost that game because the defense was bad. And I said, you know what? Do it again. And then this game, Trevor Lawrence balls out, has another great game, has a 2-minute drive, beats a great team. And now I'm sitting here saying, look, he's done it 3 times in a row. It's time to give this guy his credit, man. It feels like Trevor Lawrence has arrived. It feels like he's arrived. And I know if you're out there saying, if you're resisting it, if you're saying, oh, Trevor, this and that, you guys know. You guys know the rhetoric. You guys know there's people out there that for some reason it feels like they don't want to see Trevor Lawrence succeed. If you're one of those people, you have to stop resisting, man. You have to, at this point, if you are down on Trevor Lawrence acting like, he is not the truth or whatever, at this point, I don't think you want him to be the answer. I think you probably had this preconceived thing where you don't want to see him succeed, because right now he is playing as good as I've ever seen a quarterback play in a Jaguars uniform. This was might have been the best performance I've ever seen by a Jags quarterback. I mean, I'm giddy right now. I've never seen a Jags quarterback lead a 2-minute drive. And there's probably, fans from other teams watching this being like, what the heck? How is he so excited about a 2-minute drive? Quarterbacks do this every week. Well, you know what? I've never experienced it before. And we have a quarterback playing at an elite level. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, when you look at the run game was non-existent. 20 rushes for 38 yards on the ground. Trevor Lawrence was not helped at all out by the run game. That's under 2 yards a pop. Etienne, it hurt that he got hurt. He only had 2 rushes for 3 yards. He got hurt pretty early on, and it was weird because I don't think he was ever officially ruled out. He was on the sidelines in full pads. I mean, we were getting the Jerry Jones camera on him the whole game. They kept panning him, seeing what the heck he was doing. He never went back into the game. I don't know if he was in an emergency, but we started seeing Snoop Connor a little bit. But it was unfortunate because the run game was a lot different without ETN. But, Hasty got an opportunity to kind of showcase himself because, as we all know, the Jaguars just picked up Darrell Henderson from the Rams. It was really gave Hasty an opportunity to maybe try to earn himself the RB2 role going forward. He didn't do much in the run game, but in the pass game, 5 receptions for 67 yards, including a beautiful 28-yard wheel route touchdown. And that's another one of those plays where, look, Trevor Lawrence, early in his career, he missed that pass. He would miss that touchdown pass. But this game, Trevor Lawrence finally hit it. And, 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Marvin Jones, 3 catches for 22 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 of those catches on the final drive. He came up extremely clutch when we needed him to. Shout out to Zay Jones, man. Career game for him. 11 receptions, 145 yards receiving, no touchdowns, but he had the 2-point conversion, which was incredible. It was clear. It really felt like it was clear that the Jaguars going into this game knew it was going to be Zay Jones's game because they went after him early and they kept doing it throughout the game. And he kept making tough clutch catches, and it was a really, really good game by Zay Jones. So that one is awesome. Agnew, 5 receptions for 37 yards. Had a nice touchdown catch, kind of the same play he had against the Eagles where he motions in, then back out. I really like that play design. Kirk was quiet, 4 receptions for 46 yards, but he had some good, plays toward the end. And really just overall, it was so cool to see this offense and put together a good game. I loved it, man. I loved it. It was Jaguars put up 28 points today, man. When we look at the Jaguars defense, I mean, I think I was a little bit harder on the Jags defense than most. And hear me out. This is why. The Ravens had 9 drives when you take out the kneel down at the end of the half and the final drive where they kicked the 68-yard field goal. The Ravens scored on 6 out of 9 of those drives. And they basically get to the Jaguars 2 fumbles. And if it was just that, it was fine. If it was just that, it was fine. The Jaguars, they were holding them to field goals, very few touchdowns. That was fine. My biggest issue with the Jaguars defense is the Ravens got the ball back with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left, at their own 15-yard line. I think it was. Yeah, at their own 15-yard line. They were down 20-19. So it was like, all right, Jaguars defense, all you really had to do is just make one stop, make one clutch stop, and you have room to do it. You have about 35 to 45 yards of wiggle room where it's like, okay, 1 first down is going to kill you. Maybe you give up 2, but at some point you have to stay strong. They give up the long passes to Sean Jackson, which eventually turns into the Josh Oliver touchdown. And we're sitting here, we're down 7 points. And it's like, all we have to do is make one stop, but they weren't able to do it. However, when you look at it, though, when you look at the premier NFL games, I mean, some of these big matchups, I mean, if you put Josh Allen against Pat Mahomes, those games are going back and forth. I believe Trevor Lawrence, and I believe even I think Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. I think he's a top tier quarterback in the NFL. And I thought he probably had a bad game, in my opinion. He missed a few throws, some overthrows, and some of the wide receivers were dropping passes. I mean, it was the Ravens, they gave the Jaguars plenty of opportunities. But, with this kind of thing, he's a good quarterback, and he made big plays when he needed to. And that big play to Deshaun Jackson was very, very clutch. So maybe I'm just not used to winning 28-27 ball games. But yeah, I mean, if there was any gripe with me, it was that. But overall, yeah, it was good to hold them to field goals. Jaguars recovered 2 fumbles. Shout out to Jenkins for forcing 1 fumble, Wingard for forcing another. Almost had another one earlier on, but it was cool with Wingard because they had like 3 safety sets in there. I mean, Wingard's been pretty good when he's in the game. For at times they were having like Wingard, Cisco, and Jenkins on the field all at the same time, which, hey, I'm all about. If you're having struggling cornerback play, throw an extra safety in there and figure out how to do it. So yeah, Muma had a good game. His first game starting. Aluakin was out there getting all kinds of tackles. Overall, man, this game just, this felt like a game between two good teams. I know the Ravens going into this game, they were 7-3 and the Jaguars were 3-7. So the Jaguars aren't a good team, but we're hopefully figuring it out. I mean, we're 2-1 in the last 3 games. We're having the quarterback play improve. I mean, you lose to the Chiefs, who only have 2 losses on the year. I mean, they're just a good team. So this is a really exciting down the stretch. I mean, I'm excited for Jaguar football next week, and it'll be December. So, we're not really used to being in that kind of territory. The Jaguars beat the Ravens. Awesome win. Another home win, 2-1 in the last 3 games. It's a lot of fun. It was stressful watching this, but man, it was, like I said, that final drive, some of the best the best drive I've ever seen as a Jags fan. It's just cool. It feels like we have a quarterback. So with all that said, I'm kind of rambling. Let me know what you guys think. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Go Jags.